Hey, how you guys doing? I'm the Gamer Lad, and how about we talk about all the Tyranid bosses in Space Marine 2? I played the campaign on single player and on normal difficulty. Before I mention the bosses, let me just quickly say, every boss arena is going to have some weapons and grenades, and at least one ammo box, but usually two on opposite sides of the arena. There also could be some Medicae stims, and on some of them there's even Guardian relics. Now, let's get on to the first boss. The first boss, and I say that loosely since it isn't the tutorial missions, and you are meant to lose, is a Carnifex, and you'll encounter this guy later. The first boss is intended to test and reinforce everything you've learned in the tutorial mission so far. I would argue this Carnifex is also less aggressive than the other Carnifexes that I'll mention later. And I do say that very loosely. It has the exact same moves as the other one. The movesets that the Carnifex can do are lay down and spit on you, where a barrage of poison darts come flying, so be ready to dodge those. A bull rush, where it charges you and then tries to sideswipe you. A trampoline jump, where it tries to jump across the arena and then stabs into the ground, or you if you're there. And all these can either end with a second of being stuck, where you can attack it, or it will quickly try and sideswipe or spin swipe you. This attack is a great time for a perfect dodge too, to get one of those quick shot markers and then get a shot in and deal a good amount of damage. After enough attacks in a row, that may be a few times, it should give you at least a few seconds reprieve, sometimes. You will see these guys in the campaign at least twice more. The second arena is smaller with a lot of cover, and you can destroy it with enough damage, but be careful because I tried to dodge, and you cannot break this thing while dodging. So instead, when I dodge, a 3-ton monstrosity of G Fuel and hate, pure hate, plowed Titus against the wall, and okay, sorry, that's enough of my fanfic. Let's continue. So be careful. Use a Carnifex or a weapon to remove all these obstacles so you don't accidentally run into them and then get plowed against the wall. That way you can easily move around and you have plenty of room, and also be fine. So if the little enemies do spawn, it's a very small arena and it can get clustered so quickly if all those obstacles remain. Last arena, right before you enter the Astropath Temple, and you'll get one to fight. This area is larger, has more spots that can't be broken, but there is a lot of smaller enemies and constantly spawning. But you do have the Cadians helping you out as well. They don't do a whole bunch, but you'll get 2 Carnifexes that spawn, but they will die before you kill both of them. At least that's how it was for me. It might be different depending on how fast you kill the other one, or weapons I would suggest for the Carnifex are either something that could put a lot of damage downrange fast, especially if it's your main target. If you aren't always the main target, some extreme anti-armor / high damage weapon like a Last Fusel or a Melta could be really good, but be warned, it will probably retarget you, so have someone else get his attention again. I also would not really suggest melee for this guy. He is too aggressive and cannot be stunned easily. Next, the Lictor. No, not that. I said this thing, the Lictor. This boss fight, first of all, is really cool. It almost feels like you're in a Predator movie since it goes invisible, and like it's completely invisible, not just partial, not like Halo. And that intro cutscene for it just gives Predator movie vibes, and it's kind of fun. But back to the invisibility. Right when it goes invisible, you'll see a sort of outline like from Halo, but then it's just totally gone. It will be as if it's teleported, so be very aware of your surroundings. Each attack it does can do absolutely a massive amount of damage, but luckily, most of its attacks have either a dodge warning or a parry warning. It also has a pin attack, which usually is from afar, or it will go up into the tree above you and attack from above. If it doesn't attack immediately when it goes up into the tree, it will summon smaller enemies for aid, then attack, or it will disappear after that. It will summon Gaunts and Tyranid warriors, and there wasn't a lot of them, but enough of them where if you got surrounded or you're very focused, if you're 1v1ing the warrior and the Lictor decides that you're the target now, well, if you don't pay enough attention, get ready for that huge damage spike it's about to do to you. Precision weapons are really hard to use with its speed and its invisibility, especially if you're playing solo, so I would suggest faster weapons or like medium weapons, such as example, the standard bolt rifle is actually pretty good. It's precision enough, but at the same time has a good fire rate and a good amount of ammo. Grenades are handy. You'll even find some of them like in the arena, and you can clear smaller units out. Or if you can kind of guess where it might go, because that does have a pattern, you may be able to damage / stun it before an attack. This thing is super aggressive, so even after a dodge or parry, it will combo attack and just keep on going, and those ones don't always give you the parry. The Lictor is extremely aggressive. Even after a dodge or parry, it will combo attack you and it'll just keep on going. That being said though, this is also one of the few enemies where I at least felt like melee was a viable option. It can react really quick, but it can also be stunned easier than other enemies. And so melee can be a viable option against this thing, and it will try to run from you, but you can sort of chase it with melee. For the melee weapon, I would suggest the chainsword. That's what I'd use. Good amount of damage, but also a decent amount of parry speed. You will encounter more of these guys. They still do a massive amount of damage. They just don't have nearly as much health. They aren't bosses anymore. They're more like mini bosses or extreme Tyranid warriors, and they can't summon more enemies. They do go completely invisible though. We had an operation where it just kept harassing us basically, kind of like a hunter from Left 4 Dead or something. It would pop up, harass us, teleport away before we killed it, and just be a pain. Here's some tips to take out the Zoanthrope on crack, or the Neurothrope. Keep in mind, games can be different, and I fought him on solo and on normal mode. The Neurothrope has similar attacks to the Zoanthrope, i.e. SpongeBob bubbles and the sun is a deadly laser. These attacks are enhanced compared to the Zoanthrope counterpart. These green fart balls shoot in a small barrage and have some extreme tracking. The mine laser is just like 2 or 3 of the Zoanthrope mine lasers. The next move is lightning. This move, a green AoE will appear near the players, with a spot in the middle where the lightning will strike. Move out of this AoE quickly because not long after the AoE appears, a strong bolt of green lightning will hit there and deal some serious damage. There's 2 versions of this attack. The first one, each player will get 1 AoE around them, and then there's also another one that blankets a large area surrounding the Neurothrope. Both the bubbles and the laser will have the dodge warning symbol before firing, giving you a short heads up of an attack. For the green lightning attack, it will raise up into the sky just a little bit higher, and little flickers of energy will kind of spark around it. There's also a scream attack where it will kind of like bob its head and then shriek, which will disorient you if you're close enough to deal some damage. And if I'm correct from my footage, the shriek will also buff any of the small units in the area. The last attack I encountered, it lowers close to the ground and a bubble will form around the Neurothrope, and it cannot be harmed from range damage when you're outside this bubble. Inside this bubble, it can receive damage and is actually a really good time to use your melee weapon on it. In this attack outside the bubble, green waves will expand from it and go through the arena and deal damage and knock you down. This is more of a threat if there are other enemies in the arena, such as Tyranid warriors. You can dodge this by dodging into it at the right time. Think of a Souls-like game, iframes type of thing, and once you learn the timing, it's not too hard to do. If you deal enough damage to the Neurothrope, and the best time to do this is when it's in its bubble phase where you can get melee damage in, it will fall to the ground and it will land there completely defenseless for a brief moment. Eventually the Neurothrope will begin to rise and have a slight greenish glow and sparks around it, and after a few moments will fire off a very small shockwave to push you away. Periodically, like other boss fights, it will call in for reinforcements from small gaunts to Tyranid warriors, and if you're focused on a warrior, you may miss the warning of an incoming mine laser attack, stunning you and allowing the Tyranid warrior to use its bone sword on you. There are some weapons in this area, as well as grenades, and by the entrance and exit of the arena, there are ammo caches for you to use.
Neurothrope is dead. Victory is ours, brothers.
Hive Tyrant. First, let me say lore-wise, the only reason we beat this thing is it's hurt from dropping a massive statue on top of it that was also holding up a bridge, and it fell hundreds of feet and has a steel I-beam in it. This thing is injured, it's missing limbs, and has a wound with an I-beam in it, and it's moving around as if that I-beam is not even there, which by the way is on average about 40 pounds per linear foot according to a quick Google search. I tell you this to make you realize how the hell did we actually beat this thing? But besides that, onwards to the actual fight. Enemies will spawn, and if you become the Tyrant's target while you're fighting the little gaunts, you're gonna have a bad time. Tyranid warriors can spawn too, and they are annoying, but watch for the snipers. A snipe was really ruining our day because we were so focused on the Hive Tyrant that we forgot to dodge the sniper. You'll also get a lot of dodge and parries against this guy. Use both of these as much as possible. Perfect dodges and some parries allow you to do the headshot, quick shot thing, and it's great for dealing some damage onto the Hive Tyrant. Does do combo attacks too, so be careful. There's a jumping like sword strike, a slash and a whip hit, and a charge attack. Like it's every Tyranid boss honestly just put into one. You may say, what? He doesn't seem that bad. His health is going down kind of quick, and you're right. If you're not his target, and by the way, he can jump across the entire arena, so you're not safe. Anyways, as I was saying, you may notice he seems to be taking a lot of damage here. Well, first of all, this first game we played against him was level minimal, and we are leveling up our guys, and then, yeah, we're about to win this. Oh my gosh, this wasn't that bad. Wait, hold up.
Like, there gotta be another phase, because look how much damage it's taking. I feel like it's dying so quick. Wait, it's healing! It's healing!
Let me run away. Let me move.
Dude, it's full health! It's full. Oh. Roll into it. Roll into it.
Yep. I'm just trying to get supplies.
This guy heals to full, and I swear it has more damage reduction than the first stage, and now it also has ranged attacks. Yeah, remember how I said all the Tyranid bosses? Now he also has the lightning blast of the Neurothrope, and it does that shockwave attack that the Neurothrope does too. But that's not all. His slash attacks, if you are far away now, are psychically charged, meaning up close it's just a slash of a sword. At distance, it's a giant line of green energy that come one after another in a combo, and it's coming towards your face, and right after that, get ready for a pounce attack where it does the jump downward slice, and then right after that, it might be tired, or it might do the Carnifex's famous little spin slash hit and try to hit you from the side. I know other fights I broke down more than this, but not this one. I need to play against him more because my only time fighting him, we only won the mission isn't because we actually fought it, it's because we survived it, lore-wise at least. Like, give me a pin or a t-shirt from like those amusement park rides. It's like, I survived the ride, but this one's, I survived the Hive Tyrant. I can't even imagine what this thing's like on the hardest mode, but it's super fun, intense, crazy-ass boss fight, definitely one of the best in the game in my opinion. But watch for his attacks and use team synergy and communication and slowly work it down. At least one other person needs to take out smaller enemies or Tyranid warriors. It's best to fight this thing when it's alone if possible, even more so than the other ones.
Oh my god.
I just headshotted him and finished him off with a plasma pistol. That's fucking awesome.
He's like, how dare you shoot me? It's slowly dying, look at it.
That's just because we damaged it before.
By dropping a bridge on it. That's it.
Yeah, an entire fucking bridge.
And there's smarter ones than that.